Anyways, Dethridge, check them out. If you call and you like how these look, these Oakleys with the Chaz with the hat, we can get you a hat if you need one. You want the Chaz Especial. Ooh, and you got some special things coming. But anyways, Dethridge, pretty big late model fan. Obviously, JD, that's his boy. You know, he won the big Eldora Million. Just so special. But JD's in trouble. And the Lucas Oil Late Model Series is in trouble. And it's because of this guy. This situation that happened last night at Brownstown was something I don't think anybody saw coming. Because I didn't see it coming. I did my top four, you know, this chase for the championship they have in the late model division. I put Ricky Thornton as the underdog. Because, guys, I hate to say it, and I think it's wrong, 100%. You know my stance. But ever since he left, that other team, I'm not even going to mention their name, ever since that other team went other directions with other people, Ricky Thornton Jr. hasn't won a race until last night. He hadn't won in that Kohler Motorsports car. So, sorry, he did win in the Rumley machine, but he hadn't won in super late model racing with Kohler Motorsports. And team and chemistry and being able to click and win is a huge deal when you're going up against the four or the other three of Davenport, Moran, and all these other superstars. I'm just messing with you, McCready. And McCready, which is who I picked as my underdog. But I just had to act like I left his name out because I picked him and he ran like shit last night. But anyway, he spun out all on his own. Timmy, what the hell happened? Do I really need to be in the pitting area to give you the damn special sauce? You know what I mean? All right, hawk two of these nuts. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding. But regardless, you have to be able to win races when you are in a multi-race shootout for a championship with Moran, with Davenport, with McCready, especially Moran and Davenport, which I predicted in my little video as the favorites. And I actually would have picked Moran because I think Moran, to me, has been more consistently fast this entire year. Davenport's right with them. If the other team didn't let go of Ricky Thornton Jr. for other people, they would have been the dominant favorite. But because of the issues that happened, because Ricky Thornton Jr. had fallen off the pace and hadn't won with this team, I put him as the underdog. But now he's won a damn race. And winning changes everything. Now, I know some of y'all are going to sit there and say, well, Chaz, you know, Ricky doesn't run good at Eldora. Which is true, but last night, I believe Moran ran 9th and Davenport ran 10th, even though Davenport was up front for a considerable amount of time, or racing in the top 5. But if you are Ricky Thornton Jr. and you can win this race tonight and you could potentially back that up tonight as well, and Moran and Davenport have a slump race, you don't necessarily have to go to Eldora and win. You just have to go to Eldora and run well. Because this isn't like last year where it comes down to the final weekend or the final race, and this is how you're going to win it or lose it, where Ricky Thornton Jr. lost his championship last year that most people believe was his, deservingly so. But we look at the points right now. By the way, another plug there for Dethridge. He's there on the Lucas Oil site, most popular driver award. You look at these points on the website, and Ricky Thornton Jr. got 20 on him last night due to that subpar performance by Moran and Davenport. McCready had his issue spun out. So 20 points is a lot right here, guys. Unfortunately for Tim McCready, it's looking like that mistake last night, that spin out, that self-spin, ruined his chances. He's 145 back, with Moran and Davenport back 20 and 25. Now, that win column's very deceptive for Ricky Thornton Jr. 12 wins, 6-9-2. Obviously, Davenport with 9. Look at the top 5s. 30 to Moran, 28 to Davenport. Unfortunately, McCready slumping in all 3 categories in comparison to his counterparts. But Ricky Thornton Jr., there's only one of those wins that is with this Kohler Motorsports team. But once again, winning does fix a lot of things, and Brownstown is more of a Ricky Thornton Jr. racetrack, a short track, slinger in there. Obviously, Davenport and, well, Moran I see as a little more versatile than Davenport. That's just my opinion as far as driving styles. But Davenport's really good at floating the middle. It depends on how, and floating it at Eldora. It depends on how the track ends up being at the Dirt Track World Championship. But this, I lost a lot of intrigue with late model racing after the Ricky Thornton Jr. deal happened. I ain't even going to go into the details. But after last night, I was thinking about next weekend. Oh, I've never been to Joliet. I should go to Joliet for the Outlaw Show. But I'm not too sure. I might have to go to Eldora now. I just don't know how I'm going to make it in many ways. But I might have to go to Eldora now because this is going to be intense if Ricky Thornton Jr. has a shot at this thing, which I just didn't see coming, but due to the lackluster performances with Kohlers ever since they got together. They hadn't won. You're going up against Moran, Davenport. Those guys are going to win. You could say McCready, well, maybe in the same slump, but of not being able to win. But it looked like McCready had some momentum at least. Or Ricky Thornton Jr.'s momentum had completely went away. So for that momentum to get a fireball effect, as we saw last night, and pick up a win, intrigues me. This could make Eldora extremely, extremely different. Speaking about stock and turning around and fireballing, how about this, guys? This Ryan Timms, who was supposed to go run a midget, and I guess he listened to the Chaz, probably listened to other people. I'm just trying to take credit, but due to our recent midget encounters with subpar race car drivers who live on their prowess and live on their binary status. We got into the midget situation. But when Ryan Timms ran well at I-70, we had a very interesting discussion with him. It's on the channel if you want to tune it in or tune into that or watch that video. It is on the channel. It'll probably be at the end of this video so you can see what we're talking about. And we talked about midgets and stuff. And apparently Ryan Timms wasn't supposed to be running this event this week. He told high limit officials, he told Tony Laporta, he told me he was going to be running a midget this weekend. That all switched, guys. And Ryan Timms was at Texas Motor Speedway last night and ran an impressive third, possibly was the fastest car on the track at certain points. He struggled a little bit more in lap traffic than Darren Pittman and Brad Sweet. What a hell of a comparison, right? It's hard to be better than those guys. But he ran well. He was fast all night. He didn't shy away. Aaron Reitzel, I thought, tried to bully him a few times in his moves. Ryan Timms didn't back down. Maybe that is something that midget racing potentially does teach you, is to, deal with aggressive, overdriving people who try to bully you on the racetrack due to their binary status and get a pass. But in this situation, Ryan Timms looks amazing in this car. This combination with Liebig, or Liebig, I always call it Liebig, but Liebig, it is sprint car racing, but that's for the binary situation. Regardless, this is a good combination. This is the fastest this car has looked on a consistent basis, and it's always had speed. It just seems like maybe this car's missed a driver. And I know a lot of people say, oh, well, a car is just a car, but this car right here, it's ran well, not discounting what Boguski and some other guys have done in this car, but what Ryan Timms is doing right now is kind of leaning towards, well, maybe it just missed that it factor that we thought Ryan Timms had years ago that went away, maybe because a car that we thought that this car potentially didn't have. Maybe it was because of a little bit of a it factor in the driver. It's not like they're bad. It's not like Ryan Timms' own stuff is a bad car, bad equipment. It's got the best of the best. It's not like Boguski and any other guy who's been in this 10 car isn't the best of the best, isn't really, or isn't one of the top talents. But there is something to be said about that it factor that just puts you over the top and is able to compete on that next level, that gravel, that sweet, that Pittman, high limit, World of Outlaws. There is something to that it factor. I think Ricky Thornton Jr. suffers from missing that it factor. Maybe they found it. But that does matter. When you're trying to keep up with the 1%, there's a lot of 1% shit happening. either on the driver's side or the car side. And if you are missing that 1%, you're not going to be able to compete up front in these elite levels of motorsports in the world, because that's what sprint car racing and late model racing is. This isn't where 16 and 18-year-old kids learn how to drive to go to NASCAR. This isn't tryout division. This is the most elite form of motorsports in the world. And to be able to compete against the elite, you got to have elite capabilities and an elite pairing. And I think that this potential match with Ryan Timms and this 10 car has the capability of doing 1% shit. That's what it looks like. And I applaud Ryan Timms for not racing the midget this week and continuing this ride and combination, because I think a lot of people in this group and potentially on Ryan Timms' side, his camp, see exactly what I see. And you all see it. You all see it when it's different. Sometimes it's the car with the it factor missing, that 1%. Sometimes it's the driver with the 1% it factor missing. I think that this was a match that is able to get into that percentile. Hopefully for, I'm an RTJ fan, hopefully for RTJ, that's the case. Maybe they found that it. You can develop into that 1% with Kohler and him. But this is a match that is in it right out of the gate. And you don't want to leave that.
This is how we ride. This is how we do.